All right, welcome to PeezyFX Trading Weekly Forecast. I'm about to start off on the DXY. So we got a new monthly candle that opened. As soon as it opened, I think it's important to note that this happened. I'm gonna zoom in real good so you can see. So we open right here, we traded up, and we ran into the close of it right there, and then started trading lower. So we kind of need to try to predict where this monthly candle is going to try to reach to. My guess is going to be down here. Kind of have relative equal lows down here, but that's a long ways away. Another thing that I think is important to note is this area here, this last up close candle here, which lines up with the fair value gap, and this old high over here, because this is more defined opposed to this. It's just a big, huge manipulation right here. That's back when the COVID lockdowns kicked off right there in March of 2020. So being that we opened up and immediately started trading down, that is showing signs of an up close month, unless this little run up into the close of this candle was basically manipulation before the distribution, but that's far-fetched in my opinion. All right, let's drop down to a weekly. So we took out this short-term swing low, which is significant because this is an area of sell-side liquidity. I think it's important to note this fair value gap right here. We are currently trading inside of this mitigation block. We displaced here, create a fair value gap, price roll over back into the fair value gap, completely closed it in, and displaced again, taking out this high, and it failed to rebalance to this fair value gap. So that could be a low-hanging fruit there. And you see you have a swing low there. That's going to be an area of sell-side liquidity. Drop down to a daily. First, let's go back up to a weekly and do this because that's significant. Institutional order flow entry drill. We got a huge displacement to the downside. Price pop back up in there to rebalance, redeliver price, and then jam down. So with that in mind, going up to a daily, after that happened, we are basically starting some nice bearish structure to the downside. We had this final run up into that monthly fair value gap that happened a long time ago. We went into a period of consolidation. We traded down, made basically a double bottom, a triple bottom really. So this whole zone would be looked at as an area of support that got touched here, there, and there. And you see as soon as price got back down into that zone, how they treated the retail traders around that time. It bounced up, and then the change in the state of delivery basically lets you know that they disrespected all that. So with that being said, we started creating some very nice bearish structure. And I'm basically going to highlight the most recent dealing range that we have here. Institutional price delivery algorithm. If the data ranges is what we pay attention to the most, dating back to 20, 40, and 60 days. So in this case, we will be looking at the last 20 days. I basically want to see something like this happen. We would anchor our fib onto that swing high and wait on a swing low to form. It hasn't yet. Price is very, very close to Friday's low. Usually what will happen when the market opens on Sunday is it will immediately go for Friday's high or low. So I'm thinking that that's going to happen. I'm thinking that we're going to kind of start a swing low and get back up into this level. We got a couple points of interest right here in this price leg down. The first thing that catches my eye is this volume imbalance. And that's basically in the middle of this range right here. We also have previous day's high, which is Friday's high. All right. So I think it's important to note that high right there, as well as this little area right here. All right, the volume imbalance is obviously important, but I'm telling you, this area in price just basically confirms that this is going to be our next draw on liquidity. At this point in time, it's too early to tell if it's going to start off the week trading up and give us that high of the week around Tuesday and start that weekly expansion going back down, or if it's going to immediately trade down here to this fair value gap and then work its way back up. We just got to kind of play it by ear until Tuesday and Wednesday gets here. We already brought some very significant structures to the downside. So really think that we're going to keep going lower. And the monthly candle suggests that as well. I feel like if price was going to get back up in this area, it would have done so here. It failed to go up and make a higher high there. Price traded down here. And essentially, the only reason they did that right there is because that's relative equal lows. We all know what they do. They bounced it up here. A very strong reaction came up. When retail traders see that second bounce, they're going to be all over that, right? So when price gets back down into this level, retail traders is going to look at this as a support area, triple bottom, and they're going to try to ride it up. And it's just a strong push down through that area. I love to see that happen. That lets you know you're on the right side of the marketplace. When you see that very ferocious, like huge push down through some perfect equal lows right there, it's a good sign. All right, Euro USD, we're gonna kick it off on the monthly. Look, guys, I don't know if y'all see it or not, but I know I sure do. This is not the first time I've talked about this. This is going to be the second time in recent weeks that I've talked about this, because this looks very similar to what's going on right now. I want you to pay attention to see this swing low to this swing high. So basically, pay attention to this whole area right here. Let me zoom in a little bit. Notice how price expanded higher. You have a run up here, of run up, and one more final run up. It stopped pushing up very strong. After this final run up, it gets weaker, then it fails to make a higher high here. All right, we trade down, we take out this low, we pop back up into that fair value gap there and run to the downside. That's exactly what we're doing here. Now, like I said, keep in mind this whole dealing range from this swing low to that swing high down here to that kill zone level. Now look at this. It's essentially the exact same thing, bro. See that? Now look at this. History repeats itself in this market. And this little price swing right here looks the exact same as this. I'm gonna highlight this area and I'm gonna highlight that area. See how we pop back up into that fair value gap and then dropped? Now look over here. We displaced to the downside, the same as here, and then we pop back up into it there. We displace down, then we pop back up into it there once more, and then we bolted to the downside. Just like we reacted from a significant area over here, we react into a significant area over here. Fair value gap, strong push up. I'd be willing to bet anything that we're about to run out these two highs right here. It's going to take a while. Trust and believe it's not going to be soon, but it's going to happen. My whole point here is to let y'all know that I really think that Euro USD is going bullish. And we just created we bounced up out of this fair value gap and displaced to the upside, creating a fair value gap. Very significant right here. So we might spend a little time trading down. I don't know when that's going to happen. But if we start trading down, you guys need to know what the objective here is. All right, I'm gonna drop down to a weekly now. This was very easy to predict right here. We have this weekly fair value gap right here. Price dug down into it and then took off. I go over here to the results. There's the prediction right here on November 19th. It's my little makeshift candle, and y'all see the results. So essentially, that's what it looks like. What do we do with this? This area right here was basically the start of an expansion. Well, this was, of course. But what I'm saying is the same thing I was talking about on the DXY. we're starting to create some very strong bullish structure. Here's that weekly fair value gap. Now we just gonna refine this. We're gonna refine it. That way we have a smaller area to play in. And we're not even gonna focus on this down here no more. Because at this point, just like last week, we had this swing low. Well, it was this swing low and this swing high. And then price from this current dealing range, this was our POI. Price dropped down into it, close to that consequent encroachment and order block levels, and then booked it. Literally took off for 160 plus pip. Our target was this old high and this old high over here. Being that we just ran that out, I'm kind of starting to want to see, you know, a couple down close days. So this was our current dealing rate. After price ran for those old highs, we came back down, filled in the fair value gap completely, and then expanded once again. Now, what typically happens after an expansion? We're going to retest or go into a consolidation. This is our dealing range at the moment. Like I said, price is very close to Friday's high. It's probably going to run that out. And as soon as it runs it out, I would like to see price start to turn around. And hopefully by Tuesday or Wednesday, we'll be down into a discounted marketplace. There's really not a whole lot to go off of right here on the daily time frame. Like there's no clear fair value gaps. I still want to keep this one over here highlighted, okay? Because it's a strong possibility that price can come back down into this area and play off of the top or the consequent encroachment of this fair value gap. Just because it filled it in and took off doesn't mean it's not going to play a role in the future, because it will. All right, let's drop down to a 4 hour. I'm about to really do a top down on Euro USD. I'm gonna go ahead and get these levels off the chart, and I just want to focus on our current dealing range. So you guys all know that when price did this, I called out a buy position from this 4 hour structure. So from this swing low up to this swing high, wanted to see price run out the equal lows here, and it did, and it expanded to take out this old high. Very nice move. So essentially, we want to see price get back down to this level somewhere before we take it up again. Just because this is what I'm predicting doesn't mean that's gonna happen, obviously. You know, whatever happens, we just got to compromise. I think it's kind of interesting that we kind of have like a bullish breaker going on right here. Look, we have this huge run up in price jamming lower, taking out liquidity from Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and then displacing to the upside, taking out that high. That makes these consecutive up close candles, that makes that a bullish breaker. So when NLP did this, it kind of makes me feel like that was a bullish breaker entry playing off of these consecutive candles. So if that's the case, then the retracement that I want to see occur this week, this push down could have been that retracement, y'all. And if that's the case, then we're going to open up on Sunday and just keep expanding higher. I don't like to see that happen. I'll show you an example of that during this week right here. You see, we opened up on Sunday and we immediately started trading higher. We got a deep retracement here. Price came right back down to the market opening gap and then booked it. I don't really like to see shit like that happen. You hear me? I want to see price open up on Sunday and give you a fake run first and then go higher. I can capitalize off of shit like that, you know, and I can capitalize off shit like this because even though it jammed up on Monday, it didn't fool nobody. This push down here was the manipulation. That was the accumulation, manipulation, and distribution. I really feel like we're about to go for these equal highs over here right now. Hopefully this will happen. We run out those equal highs, take out that low maybe. I don't know, man. I feel like that's a little too much. Let's see what we got going on this week. We got PMI numbers on Monday. We don't have nothing on Tuesday. Or let me apply the filter. This red folder news right here that occurs on Monday. we really need to wait on that to occur before we figure out which way we're going to take this thing this week. Just because we're bullish does not mean we're going to get an up close week every week. Y'all know that. We got this daily fair value gap that price reacted from last week. When we bounced outside of that fair value gap, we left some significant areas. Like this right here is a balanced price range. You see the single pass down, the single pass up, leaving imbalances in the same level around that 1.03400 level. That right there sells out liquidity. This right here is it's got my attention as well. This is a balanced price range, and price dug down into it during the PM session, and we got a nice little run up off of that. Price really could bounce down in here before it trades up here and takes out that high. Now that would be a Sunday trade that I would take. Wait until, a couple hours from now, maybe 3 hours. If price is down here in this level, then I would definitely go long. And the trade would look something like this: 10, 15 pip stop loss, 40 to 50 pip gain. You know what I'm saying? Something like that. A good 4-to-1. But look what happened right when the market opened though. That's kind of interesting. So we opened up, immediately jammed down to that fair value gap. And now we're starting to slowly but surely climb up. I don't know. I'm not trying to get into the smaller time frame price action. I'm not looking for a trade right now. I'm just trying to get a beat on, what the market wants to do. I usually like to wait until the market opens and then spends a few hours open. That way I could, determine what's going on. But we're going to work with what we got. Here we are on GU. We got very nice levels up here. We got relative equal highs over here. We got this old fair value gap. And then we got another set of relative equal highs right here that is also in an old fair value gap. This level I'm marking up right now, that is a sell side imbalance in the form of a fair value gap. Price hit it once, expanded, hit it one more time, and dropped like 1,000 pips, 2,200 pips. So this is a significant area in the market, okay? And above that area as well, we have a fair value gap there and a very tiny one right here, right? So that's going to be detrimental in the coming weeks, all right? What's the first thing that pops up in your head when you see this, right? Here we're on the monthly time frame. Look right here. Huge displacement to the downside, right? And when we retested off of this displacement, what's the area that it went up into? Now, this fair value gap is significant, but the fair value gap by itself doesn't mean shit. Now, y'all see me talk about this all the time now. Y'all should already know what I'm about to say before I even say it. This right here, the fair value gap coupled with this is what makes this so significant. Like I said, the fair value gap by itself, it doesn't really give you too much to work with because, hell, for all we know, price could have came up here or up here. So with that being said, think about what this is. We have price trading up, making a high, it retesting down into a fair value gap, not just some random level, jams up, making one final high. We got a displacement right here. Price pops back up into the fair value gap and then dumps. So this pattern right here, from this low to that high to this low, is a what? It's a bearish breaker. These consecutive down close candles here, this push down prior to the purge of liquidity. Boom. These down close candles here is what's significant from the bottom to the top. Now I'm about to take the low of the bearish breaker and extend that out in time. Look at that. You see it, right? Yeah, this is classic, man. This is the type of shit y'all need to look for. And the reason why I'm even showing y'all this is because it plays a role in what we got going on right now. Like, where is the market most likely to trade to next? Just like on Euro USD, we got relative equal highs right here. Long-term goal. The low-hanging fruit is what? Monthly fair value gap up here. I'm about to delete all this and just highlight this monthly fair value gap. And then I'm gonna drop down to a weekly. We got a swing high right there. Buy side liquidity, just like here. What you think price was aiming for last week? This high right here. Where is the next draw on liquidity at? Up here. For two different reasons. One reason is because it's a swing high. Therefore, we have buy side liquidity. The other reason is it's a monthly fair value gap. All right. You can refine this monthly fair value gap by doing this. Look, we jammed down, displaced, retest, spent 2 weeks trading higher just to get back up into this displacement. Cool, right? And then we jam down again. Another area. Why am I marking these levels? I'm only marking these levels to give you guys good areas to take profit at. All right. That's it. No other reason to let you know that this is where I think price is going to trade to. Now, when we drop down to a daily, things really start to get interesting. Because just like on Euro USD, we are starting to develop some very nice bullish structure right here. I mean, look at this, guys. I remember back when this happened, right? We were selling this thing, bro. The whole year we've been selling this shit. Just like with Euro USD. When that happened, that's a clear indication that that's a reversal. Look at the change in the state of delivery. If you can't see a reversal in that, then you need to reevaluate your market structure perspective. We came down into this fair value gap. Beautiful reaction. Traded up. So from here, we basically we're climbing up. We're respecting this bearish structure. High, low, kill zone, expansion. After price gets below equilibrium, we're entering a buyer's market. So from here, where would price be most likely to trade to from this area? This old high here and this old high here, y'all. As soon as price took out those highs, what did it do? Boom. Went right back down into that level. The reason I'm showing y'all this because I want y'all to understand that looking in hindsight can really help you with current price action. So when we zoom in, we got this bullish structure. We got an expansion and a pullback. We got a daily fair value gap that price pulled back down into. The next draw on liquidity, the old high, which is here. What I tell y'all about old highs, look what happened on Friday. We opened up, we jammed down, we hit that old high, and then we went higher. This level, tapped it. And another thing that's interesting is if you take this low up to the high of that day right there and extend it out in time, look, kill zone. And when I drop down to a lower time frame, it'll start to make sense. From this swing low or from this swing low, ICT talks about it, y'all. Like, you could drag it down here, right? But ICT talks about it back in the beginning days of his YouTube channel. When you are trying to find your current dealing range on the lower time frames, and you see a clear retracement, like this is obviously a retracement. Price jammed down. What did it jam down into? Fair value gap. And then it expanded. You would then drag your fib up to the most recent swing low after a retracement, which is here. Price jams down into that kill zone level and then takes off. Let me climb back up to the daily. Unlike Euro USD, we have a nice fair value gap here that we could potentially play off of if it decides to get down there. And we also have these two levels right here, that old high. So that's going to be real interesting to see if we can get down into this level around Tuesday or Wednesday. I'm not anticipating price to get down any lower than that because we just got to wait on this swing high to form. Once we get that swing high, then we could anchor our fib on there, understand where our dealing range is, to understand where our equilibrium lies at. Right now, as it stands, this is a beautiful area, a beautiful point of interest. Equilibrium is resting right there in our PD arrays, in our discount arrays. And this old high would give us a beautiful target if we can get down in here. That's 200 plus pips from here to there, from equilibrium back up to the high of the dealing range. I'm kind of conflicted on GJ because if the dollar's going to keep dropping, I really don't know let me do this. I'm gonna put the dollar right there. I'm gonna put GBP USD right here. Thank you, Jazz. You're welcome. All right, GU and GJ, and I'm gonna put the dollar right here. The reason I'm doing this, y'all, is because look, you see on GU, y'all remember when this happened in September? We got a huge, it was like a black swan event, bro. Price literally went from $1.22 all the way down to almost under $1, bro. That's literally right there at $1. So it dropped 20, almost a whole quarter, almost a whole 25 cents. And GJ did the same thing. Why? Why that happened? Look what happened to the dollar. I mean, it's been going up like crazy for a long time, bro, for a whole year straight, for a whole 12 months. And now we're starting to see lower prices finally, because we got a lot of imbalance down here from the huge run up. We got relative equal lows down here, a lot of volume imbalance and buy side imbalance, sell side inefficiency going on down here, as well as here during this leg up. We can expect to see a reaction once price gets back down into that equilibrium kill zone level, right? But that doesn't mean that we're not going to get down below these lows. It just means that, you know, we have a displacement to the downside here that just happened the last couple months. So we could hit that equilibrium level, or this fair value gap here, or this one, and then bounce back up to the sell side imbalance before trading lower. So my whole point in doing this is, I don't really, GJ, I love GJ, y'all. Like, don't get me wrong, but I don't like going short on GJ when the dollar is so determined to go lower. You get what I'm saying? See, GJ went into a huge consolidation during the same time that GU was sinking. And this level right here is very suspicious. This is a bullish breaker coupled with a fair value gap. That's the most solid POI that GJ has to offer at this moment. This level right here, everything adds up, bro. So it makes me think it wants to go lower so bad, because, dude, when price gets down in here, I will bet the farm on it, dude. I don't have a farm. Like, I literally bet everything on this position, anywhere from here down to here, to get back up to that old high. I don't know, bro. I don't know. Let's go back to it and let's dig down into the daily. I think y'all know that this was my POI, and before that, this was my POI up here to go short, and it worked out. It worked out here, and it did good right there. Last week it worked out, jammed up into my POI and then dropped. So in my honest opinion, y'all, this is our next draw on liquidity, bro. Well, the low hanging fruit, of course, is Friday's low. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, like, I think this is it right here. I could be wrong, man. I don't know. Like, obviously, we have relative equal highs up here, right? That's suspect, and that is probably going to be a target for later. But my whole thing is, what's going on right here? Like, are we respecting this price swing up? Like, is this just a retracement? Because it hit that 79. Like, look, it hit equilibrium, went into a consolidation. It hit the kill zone levels and bounced out of it. Crazy. This is usually what you'll see happen before a huge expansion. I think we might see higher prices, bro. I'm really conflicted, as y'all can tell. Really conflicted. But I tell you what, if this low stays, I'm going to be betting on higher prices. Because think about it. If we're going to see higher prices, bro, this low should not get ran out. If we're going to see higher prices, anywhere inside of this level, from the equilibrium down to 79% retracement, fib level, that should be respected. If we're going to respect bullish structure, this area should be respected. And we got accumulation manipulation inside of this here. So we should see a distribution next. And typically when price is losing its willingness to go lower, this is what you will see. Like, these lows are going to be very close together in proximity. It's not showing no strong willingness to go lower. Now, if this low right here would have been like way down here and took out this low, I would be singing a different song right now. Let me show you an example. I talked about it on Euro USD a while ago, right? When price is getting ready to reverse, you would typically see a high form, another high. you know what I'm saying, price is going to start slowing down, and you're not going to start seeing those big green candles no more. You're going to be seeing more black candles. I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain. I know what I'm looking at, and I know what I'm trying to say, but it's kind of hard to put into words sometimes. But anyway, that's suspect. I'm just going to leave that right there and move on. Start on the monthly. We're getting into the juicy stuff now. I've been waiting all weekend for this because I'm very conflicted. I'm going to show you why. If you look at historical data, the indices are very strong. SPX 500, this is coupled with the dollar. This is not the futures contract. So you kind of want to throw the DXY into the equation. But in doing so, it could make you feel conflicted, because if you want to see lower prices on the dollar, then that means you want to see higher prices on SPX 500. So with that being said, the lower prices that we have been seeing for the past, 306 days, almost a year, is just a pullback in order to expand higher. Our next draw on liquidity will obviously be up here, 4820 level. Will we see 5,000? That would be interesting. Let's drop down to a weekly. I just want to throw that out there. Like, you got to throw the DXY into the equation. The DXY is affiliated with this pair. It does influence it. Let me highlight that monthly fair value gap again, because I really believe that is significant. I really think that's what price was reaching down into. We took out this old low right here, and now we're showing a strong willingness to go higher. This fair value gap right here is important because we cannot rule out lower prices. Look at what price has been doing. Drop, it pulled back. It drops, it pulls back. It drops, and now we're seeing another pullback. So are we going to continue doing this? The monthly chart says no, but the lower time frames might show us something else. If price is going to continue lower, this blue box is where it's going to continue lower from, in my opinion. So our current dealing range is here. We got buy side liquidity there, and we got sell side liquidity down here. Now, which one is most likely to get hit? That's the question you need to always ask yourself. And then you need to drop down to the daily and determine where your current dealing range is here. We're not, well, the majority of us are not swing traders. You have to throw the higher time frame into the equation. But if you're an intraday trader like most of us are, and we're looking for short-term trades, you got to kind of zoom in and look at the most recent dealing range, which is here. See the fair value gap, you see price trade down into it and show a strong reaction. So that just happened on Friday. So you drop down to a lower time frame, and after that, you kind of want to see an expansion after a retest down into a daily fair value gap, such as this one. The next thing that should occur is an expansion. I can't get this out of my head though. Like, this is what I really think is going to happen. I think that they use NFP to rebalance buy side imbalance, and from here they're gonna run price up. Now, do I think price can come back down into the daily fair value gap? Yeah, it's a possibility. It could drop down in here a little bit more before going higher, or it could just start the week off from what we started on NFP, institutional order flow entry drill, y'all. And we got a lot of area to play around in up in here. We have buy side liquidity resting above this old high, and we have buy side liquidity resting here, and of course up here. So we just kind of need to figure out what happens around Tuesday or Wednesday. Is this bearish structure going to remain respected, or is the bullish structure that we've been developing from here gonna, maintain? Are we gonna maintain the bullish structure from October, or are we gonna maintain this bearish structure from the beginning of 2022? That's the question that we need answered. Khalid said sell side liquidity on 15-minute down here. I don't know, bro. Looking at that weekly time frame, the way price jammed up in here, it jammed up into that weekly fair value gap, and it went into a consolidation, and then it displaced to the downside. You know what I'm saying? Kind of shifted in market structure. That kind of makes sense. So if we're going to maintain that bearish structure from the weekly time frame, this is where it will fall from, and this will be low hanging fruit. This will be another objective down here. But I have another argument against that bearish sentiment. here. This is a logical area to run price higher. Just like this strong displacement to the upside, just like this area was a logical area to run price higher. We hit it, we bounced off of it, we traded up and made relative equal highs, and then we dipped back down into the fair value gap once again, and then displaced higher. This old high right here is kind of in my sights, man. Like the way we jump down into this daily fair value gap makes me believe that we want to get up in here more. Let's move on. I think NASDAQ, this is still my target. I'm still targeting this. And that also makes me feel like SPX 500 is going to go higher as well. So I'm going to put SPX right there. I'm going to put NAS right there. And I'm going to put US 30 right there. We'll start on the monthly time frame, being that we just opened a new monthly candle. US 30 and SPX 500, I mean, they all just jammed down and into a very obvious discount PD array. SPX 500 and US 30 damn near look identical. I mean, so does NAS, but like these two are very small fair value gaps and they got hit. This is a very large one compared to the other two. I just feel like this is a logical area to go long from. All right, let's get back down on a daily because that's what's really important for us intraday traders. I can only see price going higher from here, man, on all three of them. This is a balanced price range. We got a very nice target on NASDAQ. This area right here, it's got to get hit, bro. And we got relative equal highs right here. Let's look at US 30. We are inside that fair value gap already. We got this bearish order block right there. It's a small gap in there. This right here is considered a high resistance liquidity run, meaning that US 30 should show some resistance in this area, which makes me think that it could drop anywhere from this fair value gap to this bearish order block. I don't know if y'all learned about high resistance liquidity runs and low resistance liquidity runs. I have to get into that one day. But right now, I'm going to say I'm bullish on the indices. Now, granted, we are kind of in a premium on all these pairs on the higher time frames, but all three of them just on NFP traded down into a discount fair value gap, which makes me think they're all going to trade higher in the near future. So there's my take on that. The two futures, they're pretty much the same thing, man. Especially NASDAQ, very nice target up there. Gold, y'all already know what I want on gold if you've been paying attention. This was my POI here. It expanded up out of that from where we are right now. You see this old high, price jammed down into it, dropped down to a 4-hour. We should have, fair value gap right there, order block here, 1 hour. You can refine it, fair value gap there. This last down close candle is significant. Measure the bodies, extend that out in the time, 50% mean threshold. Price showed a strong reaction from there. We got relative equal highs right there. And this line right here is buy side liquidity, this old high right here. So I think that's going to be our target. It's a possibility here. I don't know if it's going to happen, but I don't think it's going to get down here first. I think it's going to run out the buy side liquidity first, being that we're so close to it. Now, if it does decide to retrace, that's even better because this one confirmation of buy side liquidity as our target is going to turn into a more higher probability setup because it's going to be relative equal highs. If they leave this high and then drop back down into a discount based on this dealing range, it would be a more higher probability setup. Now, this is an area of interest, and so is this one. All right, y'all. With that being said, man, I just went over my whole watch list. These are my favorite pairs. These are what I like to trade the most. Euro USD being my most favorite. If y'all new, then you should know I really don't like trading on Sundays or Mondays. Every once in a while I get in there and find a setup on Monday, but typically what I like to see on Mondays is consolidation. I want to see consolidation or manipulation on Mondays. That way Tuesday and Wednesday will kick off the weekly expansion so we could go ahead and find us a good setup. Do y'all have any questions or do y'all have any pairs that you want me to go over? Speak now or forever hold your peace. Oh yeah, just to let y'all know, I got a new YouTube video out right now. It's basically from NFP on Friday. So I'm gonna go ahead and share that into the Discord channel. And if y'all are not subscribed to my channel, I appreciate it if you go subscribe, like the videos, comment on the videos, help me out with the algorithm. YouTube's algorithm is tough, man. All right, y'all. Looks like there's no questions and there's no request for me to go over any pairs. So on that note, I'm gonna go ahead and end it. Y'all have a safe week. Good luck and good trading.